Hello, I'm Mark Jackson, Technical Operations Manager at Connect2 Cleanrooms. Today we're going to be looking at the importance of cleanroom testing and validation. Validation of a cleanroom is just like getting your car MOT'd. It's an important process that includes a range of tests that are designed to ensure the cleanroom is operating efficiently and to the required standard. Regular cleanroom validation supports you with detecting and identifying the source of harmful contaminants, evidencing that your cleanroom meets its desired classification, including ISO and GMP, and reducing operational downtime and maintenance costs. There are some key considerations for when you look to validate your cleanroom. This includes opting for a validation company that will provide you with technical expertise, adheres to industry standards and guidelines, follows robust quality assurance processes, has a customer-based approach, and their engineers are fully certified. Hopefully this series of videos will help you to manage your cleanroom certification and validation process. The first test we're going to look at is airflow and air change rates. The air change rate is the number of times the air volume within the room is replaced with fresh, filtered air within a 1 hour period. Air change rates are crucial in cleanrooms because they directly impact the level of air supplied and the ability of the cleanroom to remove the contamination and maintain the desired level of cleanroom classification. Firstly, the engineer will take readings using the anemometer and determines the velocity of air being supplied. Once the velocity readings are taken and the free area of the filter face is then measured, the calculated volume is then determined. This is then repeated for each supply terminal. Once the total supply volume is calculated for the cleanroom, we can then calculate the amount of air changes per hour. In this section we are going to be looking at particle counts. Particle counting is essential for maintaining cleanroom environments where even tiny particles can compromise product quality or processes. To complete this test we will use a light scattering airborne particle counter. Particle counting quantifies the total number of particles within a defined size range in a given sample volume. It also determines the number of particles within specific size ranges or channels. Particle counting is used to directly classify the cleanroom and is the main test. An important note to remember: the interval between tests for ISO class 5 and below is 6 months and ISO class 6 and above is 12 months. Once the required number of samples are complete, the engineer will run the final report, which will then determine the final classification of the cleanroom. In this test we'll be looking at DOP filter integrity. The filter integrity test in a cleanroom, often referred to as a DOP test or filter leak test, verifies that the filtration system, usually HEPAs or upper filters, are properly installed and functioning correctly, and ensuring they are effectively removing airborne particles. The DOP test is performed by introducing a controlled aerosol from a lasking nozzle or a smoke generator onto the upstream side of the filter, and then measuring the penetration of particles on the downstream side of the filter using a photometer. This will then quantify the size of the leak if any is detected. A filter is considered to have passed the integrity test if the penetration of the aerosol is below a specified limit, which is usually 0.01% penetration. In this test we're going to be looking at recovery rate testing. Recovery rate testing assesses how quickly a cleanroom can return to its specified cleanliness levels after a brief period of induced contamination, such as personnel or materials entering the cleanroom. In order to complete this test we use a pea-soup fogger and particle counter. We use the pea-soup fogger to release a controlled amount of particles in the form of smoke into the cleanroom, and the particle counter to measure the amount of time it takes for the room to return to its original operating state. The results are recorded to show the number of particles at the highest concentration level, where the cleanroom returns to its permissible class limit. The start and end times are recorded, and the final recovery time is the point taken between the 2 points. In this test we're going to be looking at pressure differentials. The pressure differential test indicates the difference in pressure between two adjacent rooms, such as main cleanroom and its change area. In order to perform this test we use a micromanometer and a length of tubing. The tubes are attached and the ports are fed under the door threshold. The display will indicate the differential pressure reading in pascals. In this instance we are measuring under the door. However, on some occasions permanent ports are applied to rooms for continuous monitoring purposes by means of an analog magnehelic or differential pressure gauge. In this next test we are looking at temperature humidity testing. Temperature readings within a cleanroom can vary based on its purpose and the products being handled. However, this range must incorporate personnel comfort and prevention of contamination. Relative humidity is also crucial for preventing bacterial growth, employee discomfort, static discharge and potential damage to sensitive materials. A multifunctional hygrometer is often used by leaving the device within the cleanroom for a specific time. to collect the temperature and humidity readings simultaneously. In this test we'll be looking at sound readings. Measuring sound levels with a sound level meter is performed as part of a validation. A cleanroom's hard non-porous surfaces and high air change rates makes it inherently prone to high noise levels. Maintaining appropriate sound levels is crucial for protecting the health and safety of personnel, improving communication and maintaining product quality. In this next test we will be looking at light level readings. Lux level testing measures the light intensity using a lux meter by placing the device onto multiple cleanroom surfaces. Under ISO and GMP standards, cleanroom lighting should be non-contaminating, flush mounted or recessed where compatible with airflow. It's recommended that light levels are greater than 500 lux to ensure personnel can effectively perform tasks and product integrity is maintained. In this next test we'll be looking at airflow visualisation. Airflow visualisation helps confirm that the cleanroom's HVAC system and airflow patterns are meeting design specifications. By visualising how air moves, it's possible to pinpoint areas where airflow may be disrupted, causing stagnant areas or turbulent airflow that could lead to particle buildup and contamination. The video recording commences and the engineer will identify the client facility name, the room name, the state of the cleanroom and the date. Smoke is then released and the engineer will observe and video the airflow patterns whilst providing a commentary of what he can see. Following the validation tests, you'll be presented with documentation that evidences your cleanroom meets regulatory requirements. Ultimately, a cleanroom validation verifies your cleanroom's design, installation, operation and performance and is suitable for its intended use, especially in sensitive controlled environments. In essence, cleanroom validation documentation is a critical asset that requires careful management to ensure compliance, maintain quality and support ongoing operations. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. Please remember to reach out to the team for your next cleanroom project.